Hello everyone, welcome to the Village Chef. Today we're going to make an Italian style meatloaf. And you may wonder what's going to make it unique in Italian style. Well, we're going to use fresh basil, we're going to saute off some onion and celery, and we're going to cool it down a bit, and then we're going to add it to the meat, and then we're going to add all our other secret herbs and spices and such like that as well. And then at the end of this we're going to lay it out flat on some foil, and we're going to put some hard-boiled eggs down the center of it, and we're going to roll it up into a log and wrap it up in the tin foil and stick it on a wire rack on a baking sheet and put it in the oven and let it cook, and then we see what the results will be after about an hour and 10 minutes. So to get started here, why don't we get our celery and onions diced up and the heat underneath the pan on the stove. I got it on about medium high. This is only going to take us a few seconds to do up these diced celery and onion. And on a previous video I had mentioned a couple of pointers on knife skills and such, and what we're doing here is we're just dicing, and I've cut down the celery stalk down in half in the lengthways, and this is what the size of the dice will be. It doesn't have to be too fancy, we don't want it too big. And then we're just going to lay it all together like all the logs, and we're going to come down leaving the tip of the knife on the cutting board, and we're going to continue to dice down until we get to the end. And there we go, we have our diced celery. Now for our diced onion, once again we have the back of the onion, which I call the spider, you know it as the root. We're going to put it to the back of us, and once again I'm going to take the tip of the knife, the front inch and a half or so, and I'm just going to make slits down the knife, or down on the onion, sorry. Don't go all the way through it. The root there is to help you to keep it all together in one, right? So we've got this kind of accordion looking on the onion. We're going to lay our hand loosely on top, and we're going to make an incision just enough to go through about halfway through the onion, and then we're going to strike it down with the knife. Finish making our diced onion. So that's one half, and I'll finish up this half. The pan over on the stove. I'm going to do it this way with 2 horizontal cuts. And then finish the dice. I'm going to use one more onion, one more half onion. Can't go wrong with too much onion. Can't go wrong with too much garlic either. And while we're sauteing this off, we're going to smash up a couple of garlic, and we're going to add it to the sauteed celery and onion. What we're going to do now is we're going to lay some olive oil in our pan. Be fairly liberal, a couple of good tablespoons. We're going to start sauteing off our onions and our celery. Check our heat. Let those saute. Give them probably 6 to 7 minutes till they're softened. And what we're going to want to do is cool them down before we add them to our meat mixture. I'm going to add some dried oregano. And be fairly liberal with that as well too. Remember, it is Italian style meatloaf. Okay, now we'll let this continue sauteing off for the next 3 or 4 minutes, and then we'll add it to our meat mixture here momentarily, alright? Okay, at this point, now that our sauteed celery, onions, and garlic has cooled down, we are going to add our beef to a bowl. And what I'm using a lean beef. I'm using about 1.5 parts to 1 part of pork, ground pork. So in goes the beef, about 1.5 pounds, about 1.5 pounds, almost 2 pounds possibly. Yeah, about 2 pounds, and another good pound. So we almost got about 3 pounds of meat there. And we put that last piece of pork on top there. And what we're going to do is we're going to add our vegetables that we sauteed off. We're going to add some Worcester for flavor, It's about a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, and what that does is it helps break down the enzymes of the beef and the pork, and it gives a bit of sweetness as well without adding any sugar or anything like that. So, and onion powder, this is all a staple in my books. Like I said, it goes into my soups, and I have a mix I made up with that. So a good tablespoon, and then some garlic powder as well. You get lots of flavor. I'm all about the flavors, everybody. You'll get to know that. So we'll just move this to our side, and what we're going to do is we are going to julienne chop our basil, and we're going to fold that into our meatloaf as well. This is going to be a great meatloaf. So let's just pick this apart. Okay, we're going to pick the leaves off this beautiful basil from a local nursery around my home. So what do you do there? We need a good half cup. So we're just going to chop that. Rough chop it. Like I said, it doesn't have to be meat. And we're just going to fold it in. I'm just going to take that and we're just going to drop it right into the same bowl as we have with the meat and everything else. Okay, at this point, we're going to take our breadcrumbs. I'm using about 3/4 of a cup. Toss that in there. Okay, and finally we're going to take 2 eggs. Crack that up there nice. And then we're just going to whisk them. Whisk them all together. Just makes it for easy incorporating it into the beef. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a good heaping of pepper. Remember, we've got 3 pounds of meat in there. And our salt. What that does, just brings all the flavors out. So what I call is a 3-pinch sugar or 3-pinch salt. That's what I mean, a 3-finger pinch. So when you hear that term, that's what I refer to. Okay, now we're going to take our eggs and we're going to drop it all into the bowl. Let's get it all out. Alright, now that we have our eggs and all of our mixture and our seasoning and everything else in there, we're time to get our hands a little bit dirty. Alright, this is the fun part. Nothing wrong with this. This way you're building something great. Just fold everything around nicely. I like using my hands. Cleaned, washed, of course. Mixing everything up together. Alright, just going to fold everything in. Don't want to overmix it. But you want everything incorporated. Okay, I think that's about as far as that I want to go with that. So at this point, I'm going to step over to the kitchen sink and I'm going to give myself a wash. Okay, now that we have everything mixed, and I was telling you that we're going to lay this out into a square, and what we're going to end up doing, boiled eggs, get them out of the fridge. What we're going to end up doing is we're going to lay out our mixture, and we're going to lay it out into a square. Okay, and depending on how much mixture you have, not everybody's going to build a 3-pound meatloaf. That's only me, because we have the friends, we have the neighbors, and we have the people that we can share this with. So it's all a good thing. So lay that out. So I guess I would say it's probably a 12 by 8 work. That's working pretty good. All right, lay it out. Oh, there's the oven getting ready. And when you're doing that, have your oven on. I have mine at 350. 350. Okay, now here it comes. Remember I was telling you about the hard-boiled eggs? Well, we're going to lay those inside this meatloaf, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to end up rolling it into a log, and these beautiful creations are going to be in the middle. And what's going to happen is we're going to cook this meatloaf. Alright, since we've done that, let's season these up. I got my mixed seasoning here, put that over top, one last blast taste, and we're going to roll this up. Okay, roll it. We have one. And what I've done is I laid down 3 pieces of tin foil, roll it up into a log. Okay, I'm going to squeeze the ends, make it compact, make it fairly tight. Make sure that it's uniform all the way down. We want it to cook evenly. And when we do that, we're going to check after an hour. And we want the internal temperature to be 160 degrees Fahrenheit. So this is what I was saying. A grate, cooking sheet. Lay your meatloaf on there. We're going to walk it over to the oven. Set the timer for 1 hour. And we'll have a peek at it after that and check the internal temperature, and we'll show you our finished product when we're finished. Okay, now that we've cooked our meatloaf, I put it in for 1 hour and 25 minutes is what my oven cooked this lovely piece of meatloaf at. Your oven may be different. You still see the steam coming off of it. I've rested it for about 20 minutes now, and we're going to cut into it to reveal the surprise. And we'll start at this end. I want to be gentle with it. You can see how that opens up nice, steaming. We're bound to hit one of our eggs here soon. Oh, you can see it there. Okay, nice and hot. We'll use that for a serving. I'm just going to move this back over. Let that rest underneath the foil. Okay, now we're going to plate up our lovely meatloaf with our tomato basil sauce, and I've done up a quick roast potato to go along with it. So let's put this lovely dish together. Okay, what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've sliced off 3 lovely pieces of the meatloaf, and I just want to show you here what that actually looks like with the hard-boiled egg inside, cooked to perfection. Check my other video, hard-boiled egg. So now we're going to plate it. We're going to do a nice little presentation to it. So first of all, I want to grab my tomato basil sauce, and I'm going to find a nice little home for it here on this plate. Okay, and what I've done is put some of the sauce on the plate, and one by one I'm going to lay these beautiful slices of meatloaf onto our plate. I've had some roast potatoes, throw them on there as well. Just a quick saute, and they brown up nicely. Only take a few minutes. And we're going to make something nice, little salad. White balsamic vinegar using some spinach, some olive oil. Nothing too heavy, nothing too complicated. You finish off with a couple of pecans on top. There you have it, folks. The Village Chef's Italian style meatloaf with hard-boiled egg, roast potato, and spinach salad. I hope you enjoy.